Previously on the Steve Fox career mode. Right, so we're revving up to 5 red lights here at wet Australia. It's the lights out and away we go, and a brilliant start by Steve here. He's already getting past Alonso for 8th place. Is he going to try and take Verstappen as well? It looks like it, bottleneck into the first corner, and obviously everyone's going quite slow due to how bad the weather conditions is. Raikkonen looks like he's having trouble. Is Steve going to make the best of that situation? He is. He's going to get past Kimi Raikkonen for 7th place. Now he has Valtteri Bottas in his sights as he goes. Is he going to try down the inside? He does. Is he going to try and take Sebastian Vettel as well? It looks like he's trying, but Vettel hands in there. Now he's going to try and go around both of them. But unfortunately he's lost a position to Valtteri Bottas once again. Fortunately, we weren't able to catch Max Verstappen, who's the next car up the road. We did try, as you can see. Steve's trying, he crucially wants that 5th place. And he's going to get in his slipstream. He's going to try and go for the move for 5th place, but unfortunately it's too little too late. But 5th place on a debut like that must be a dream come true for Steve Fox. 6th place, it's crucial points for the team.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Right, new engine is in order, and welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Welcome to the deserts of Bahrain, where the Formula One circus has rolled into town. We're expecting the cars to appear out on track shortly to start today's practice session. So Anthony, lots to do of course in these sessions, lots of programs to run. What are you looking for when you jump in the car for free practice?
Well, you have basic checks first of all. You know, is the car working correctly? What are the track conditions like, and you'll be chasing that as the session goes on, things like that. Then you start getting into the nitty-gritty of it all, and they become more like test sessions where it's all about gathering new data, testing components, tweaking the setup and so on. So there's only so much actual practice that these drivers need. Most of them will be plenty familiar enough with the track layout, either from previous experience or from the simulator.
Hey guys, I'm Viper and welcome back to my Steve Fox career mode, and as you can see from on screen, we're at the circuit of Bahrain for the Bahrain Grand Prix. You join us in the practice sessions, and I've decided that from the last episode and from what other people have seen and from what I've seen off other people, it's best to kind of just show you snippets from the test programs that we do, and to jump into practice, the proper practice sessions, as it saves time on the episodes, and I don't want the episodes being too long. I believe Nidge also said this as well. Nidge plays, I'll leave his channel down in the description. He's doing an awesome Red Bull career mode, which is awesome, and as you can see though, we've done the tyre ones and so on, and we've also done, you see, coming across the line to do the qualifying pace test, which went quite well. So let's see how we're doing in the other practice. Right, so you join us for the final practice session here at Bahrain. As you can see, Steve's decided to go on the medium tyres to test his skill, and he did. It was a pretty good, decent lap from Steve. You know, going through the different sectors. He was only 4/10 off his teammate, only 4/10 off Roman Grosjean, and coming down the main straight now, going up through the gears, up 6th, 7th, DRS open, cross the line to finish 8/10 back, but. Yeah, later on in the session, Steve decided to go out on the super softs with only a couple minutes left, and this is actually his fastest lap that he put in overall. And as you can see, he's coming up to the line with DRS about to be open. There it goes, and 4th place in practice, which is quite impressive, especially on the super soft tyres. So yeah, hopefully we can keep this pace throughout qualifying and get a decent qualifying position. I'll hand you over to the commentators.
Changes.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top 3, who are Rosberg, Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen. Practice times are on the board then, but no points are on offer just yet. We'll be back with more F1 action soon.
Right, so as you can see from the practice 3 results, it's Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton, the two Mercedes, topping the timesheets with only 7,000ths of a second, sorry, hundredths of a second, sorry, separating the two. But then there's a huge gap between Hamilton and Raikkonen, second and third, 37.5 tenths. Ourselves, Steve Fox, in 4th place. You see, most people decide to set the times on the super soft, which is kind of obvious at this stage. Vettel, Verstappen, and you see Felipe Massa all set their times on the soft tyres. I don't think anybody set any of the times on the medium tyre, but from, like I said, from the practice 3 results, as you can see, super soft tyres, we get 4th place there. I'm hoping we can do well. Actually, Sergio Perez and Danny Clear have got on mediums, and there might be somebody else on mediums, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's going down through the order. Obviously, you can see that most people are setting average times, with Pascal Wehrlein bringing up the rear with the medium tyres. 4 seconds off the pace, unfortunately. But yeah, well, that's this pace disadvantage that you get with you being on the harder tyres. But yeah, that's been all from practice. I'll now hand you over to the agent, who is going to give us our qualifying goals.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
Right, so as you can see, our qualifying goals are to qualify in 13th place and to beat Romain Grosjean, which, to be fair, we managed to do that in the last race, so I'm hoping we can do it this time. So hopefully we can do it, and yeah, on to qualifying.
The cars are ready, the drivers are ready. We hope you're ready as qualifying is about to begin here in Bahrain. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
Right, so qualifying time here at Bahrain, and just as we're jumping into qualifying, as you can see, as the lights go out and let us go for qualifying, Steve felt quite comfortable knowing that he'd done quite well in practice 3, so hopefully with a bit of luck we can get either front row start. Now the thing is that the qualifying pace test run that we did projected we qualify on pole, but let's see how we get on. So I'm going to cross the line to start his first qualifying lap. Bear in mind, you only get 2 sets of super soft, I've found out, instead of doing like soft or a medium compound. Unfortunately, you could only pick the super soft, so I thought, well, since you can only pick the super soft, I'll do one run as he loses it back in quite a bit there at the first few corners. I thought, well, since there's a few sets of super soft, I'll do the first run, just like a first flying lap on the super soft, and then if needed, I'll try and go for a second lap and see what sort of time I get. And that just happened to work. It was quite a good strategy for the qualifying that seemed to pay off well. As you can see, there's quite a few tight right-hand corners on the left-hand, especially this next corner. Not the left-hander here, but the very sharp left-hander. So this one, which I'm going under braking now, this one was quite a hard corner to get right, especially under braking. And as you see, just opening the DRS flip and going up through the gears. The setup for the car was reasonable. I seemed to get quite a bit of speed out of the car, and it seemed to be quite good. This corner was again another one that also messed Steve up, and sometimes, especially as you'll see throughout the race, it kind of messed us up a little bit. Not much, but kind of like slid wide a little bit, because obviously as soon as you put your wheel on the curb, it happens up with the car sliding out, and obviously a lot of power in the back wheels obviously makes it go flying around corners. So you see though, coming round the final few corners here and going up through the gears, see Hamilton's set a 133.9. Looks like we're going to set a 135.3, which isn't too bad considering his first lap. Steve's quite happy, he got the fastest final sector, which was quite good to see. But moving on to the end of the qualifying session, as we got the fastest lap here, and we're going across the line, and we got up into 3rd place with 134.1, which is quite a valiant effort from Steve there. He's shown that he can really mix it with the big guys, and yeah, let's see where that puts us in qualifying, and I'll hand you over to the commentators.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top 3 are Hamilton, Vettel and De Haas. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the Grand Prix itself gets underway.
Well then, what about that for a qualifying session? Lewis Hamilton takes pole position ahead of Sebastian Vettel, ahead of Steve Fox in only his second race in Formula 1 for the Haas team. Brilliant effort there. Nico Rosberg in fourth. As you can see though, he has a 5-place grid penalty, I presume for impeding somebody. Max Verstappen in 5th place there, Kimi Raikkonen in 6th, Valtteri Bottas in 7th place. Daniel Ricciardo in 8th, so Red Bull showing that they're sort of strong, not as strong as they were in Australia. Felipe Massa 9th, Danny Kvyat 10th, our teammate Roman Grosjean 11th. Then it's the Spaniards of Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz in 12th and 13th. Jensen Button in 14th, Perez 15th, Hulkenberg 16th. Then the two Renaults of Magnussen and Palmer, Ericsson in 19th, Pascal Wehrlein in 20th, followed by his teammate Rio Hamilton 21st, and then Felipe Nasr in 22nd place. That's all from qualifying, and now on to the agent who has our race goals.
Hi, it's Emma here. Just wanted to let you know what the team are hoping for in the race.
Right, so our goals for the race: finish the race in 10th place or higher, means score a point at least, and to beat Roman Grosjean, obviously. Drivers' Championship target: place 14th or higher. Well, considering where we finished in the last race and how high we are in the championship at the moment, I can easily see us exceeding that target, no problem. However, finishing the race in 10th place depends on the start we get. Beating Roman is our main priority though. Finishing the race in 10th, I think we can easily finish ahead of 10th place, but beating Roman is something that we really need to do, so hopefully we can do it. And now let's get on to the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The curtain rises once more then on the desert stage of Sakhir as the players take their places for the opening act. Will they enthrall us like they did in 2014 with that titanic battle between Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton? Well, we'll find out shortly as we get underway here in Bahrain. Formula One returns to the desert today on this exceptional 3.36 mile circuit. 15 corners provide plenty of overtaking opportunities, and 2 DRS zones will help with that as well. It could be a strategic race, this one, with Sakhir notorious for eating up the rear tyres. Watch out for drivers managing their rubber at some point during the Grand Prix. Bahrain has showed us many times in the past though, Anthony Davidson, that a good strategy will only take you so far. Beyond that, you need good racecraft and you need good consistency.
And a little bit of luck too, I'd say. This is one of those circuits where the safety car always seems to come out just at the right time to condense the field together and mix up the cars on different strategies. It's hard on brakes, it's tough on fuel, and the main overtaking opportunity is down into turn 1, where it's easy to outbrake your opponent and potentially have a bit of argy-bargy as well.
We're higher on the grid than we expected. Let's see if we can do even better.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and starting alongside him P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have a Haas, Verstappen, Kimi Raikkonen and Bottas, Ricciardo, Massa, Rosberg and Daniel Kvyat, Grosjean, Alonso, Carlos Sainz and Button, Perez, Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen and Jolyon Palmer, Ericsson and Wehrlein. Rio Haryanto and Felipe Nasr starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, so it's race day here at Bahrain, and starting P3 on the grid, looks like we've got a good opportunity to get the lead of the race going into the first corner, should we get a good start of course. As I was going through the tyre management and the race strategy, as you can see there's 2 different strategies you can do. There's a high tyre management which requires 1 pit stop, and there's a low tyre management which is 2 sets of super soft and the soft tyres. Now, I decided on editing the high tyre management, so editing it for lap 5, thinking I could go till about lap 5. You can edit it different, you can edit both the stints, obviously this is a new feature that's in the game. You can edit both stints, and I thought, well, if I put the soft tyres on a lap later, then hopefully with a bit of luck we'll be able to have a bit more grip on the soft tyres come the end of the race. So obviously, as you can see, you can actually go onto the mediums, but I thought, well, since there's a better pace advantage to do with the softs, I might as well go into the softs. So that's the race strategy sorted, and now onto the start of the race. So we're revving up to 5 red lights here at Bahrain. It's lights out, and away we go, and a wheel-free wheel spin start gains Steve. He's going for the lead. He's going to get past Lewis Hamilton. Can he keep the lead going into turn 1? Is he going up to the ring? So can he keep the lead? And he gets past Lewis Hamilton for the lead of the race. And as you can see, he's actually starting to only slightly pull away, but obviously the Mercedes and the Ferrari behind are well on his tail. And can he keep going as he goes under the lights? Can he keep going? Can he keep that gap as it is? Purple first sector, not too bad. But then coming on to lap 2, as you can see, there's flashing arrows, which means Lewis Hamilton is on that inside. Is he going to leave him the space? He just about does. Just keeps it clean enough for the... Unfortunately, there's a yellow flag there for some reason. But yeah, on lap 3, as you can see, there's a car up in front. And I wonder who this was. It's actually Sergio Perez going quite slowly. I think he got a puncture. I'm not entirely sure, but we set a fastest lap on lap 4, as you can see. But at the end of that lap, we've got our pit stop window. So obviously with this new pit limiter system, you have to make sure you don't cross the line too fast, because otherwise you get a drive-through penalty. I found that one out the hard way whilst I was doing testing like quick races and stuff on this track. Even though the speed limit's like 50 mile an hour, it's pretty hard. I might end up getting drive-through penalties this season. I'm hoping we don't, but if we do, then we'll have to serve them, obviously. But yeah, as you see, average pit stop 2.8 seconds. Not a bad pit stop from the guys there on the soft tyres. Come out in 10th position. Don't think Alonso's anywhere near us. Actually, he's miles down, but there's a lot of the front brakes there. Not too bad, a really decent pit stop. As you see on lap 6 though, we're going to start overtaking the cars that were ahead of us, and as you see, just about beat Sebastian Vettel out of the pit lane there, which is quite a good thing to see. And on lap 8 though, we've managed to catch up to Nico Hülkenberg, and obviously he's not pitted yet. He started on the soft tyres, he's working his way up to the super soft, but as you can see, Steve doesn't really care. He's going to pass him nevertheless, because essentially it is for the lead of the race. And wasn't a bad move, I do say so myself. However, not much happened for the rest of the race, but Steve managed to keep the gap to Vettel and Hamilton behind at a steady pace until the very last lap, when we had a bit of a scare. As you can see, Steve's swerving all out about the place. You see, got Vettel and Hamilton both with DRS. And he's going to try and outbrake both of them into turn 1. He's outbraked Hamilton. What about Vettel? He's outbroken him too, and he's kept the lead there. As you can see, going round at the end of sector 2 with that left-hander, sharp left-hander, shall I say, he loses the back end a little bit, and that allows Vettel and Hamilton to close back up once more. But obviously they're thinking back on it and thinking, no, we can't really overtake him yet. They're going to leave it a bit decent. As you see, a bit of a rear end slide causes a bit of a mistake. Steve goes to the right. You see Sebastian Vettel and his Ferrari goes to the left hand side. Can the lead change to the last corner, last lap? It does, but does it go back in Steve's favour? It does again. Hamilton manages to get past Vettel, but nothing is going to stop Steve Fox from winning his first ever race here at the Bahrain International Circuit. I'll now hand you over to the commentators.
A great win then for the Haas team today. Tell me, Alex, what was the key to this success?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
There aren't many teams, you know, as they come out onto the podium now, who could do what Haas have managed to accomplish here. It's hard to believe just how competitive they've already become. An amazing victory. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. There's been a lead change at the top of the championship after a superb performance. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, after a drive like that, it's got to be Nico Hülkenberg, hasn't it? Very clean, very smooth. He can be really pleased with that one.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
What a race that was. Steve Fox taking his first ever win at Bahrain under the night lights. You can't predict this. You can't make this stuff up. It's a fairy tale dream, you know. Things like that can happen, and unfortunately in Formula 1 it's not often that we see that sort of thing, so it's good to see that Steve's actually won this. You see Lewis Hamilton there finishing second, 3 tenths behind, with Vettel in third place, 7 tenths behind. Kimi Räikkönen was actually only a second behind in 4th place. You see Dan Ricciardo in 5th, Valtteri Bottas in 6th, Massa 7th, so Williams finishing next to each other. Nico Hülkenberg finishing 8th, as Anthony Davidson said, he was the driver of the day for him. Danny Kvyat finishing 9th, our teammate finishing 10th and scoring a point for the team. Rosberg finishing 11th, so that's a surprise. Alonso finishing 12th, Wehrlein 13th, Ericsson 14th, Haryanto 15th, Button 16th, Nasser 17th, Carlos Sainz 18th, obviously 2 Renaults and the other 2 cars at the bottom there. But moving on to the incidents, as you can see, Max Verstappen went on lap 2 with a mechanical failure. Ricciardo and Raikkonen both got warnings for colliding with each other. Hülkenberg got a warning for colliding with Danny Kvyat. Sainz and Button got warnings for colliding with each other, as did Perez and Magnussen. Magnussen got 2 for colliding with Perez. Marcus Ericsson got 1 colliding with his teammates. Not got times with Sauber there. Perez obviously colliding with Palmer wouldn't have helped neither. So obviously I think that's probably the reason why Perez was going so slow on lap 2 and why we lapped him so early, because of that incident, I think. So yeah, now that we've actually done that, and obviously we've shown the results, you see Max Verstappen being the only retiree of the session, the Drivers' Championship looks a hell of a lot different. Steve Fox is now tied at the top with Lewis Hamilton, so 2 Brits fighting for the championship. Who would have thought it? Daniel Ricciardo slips down to 3rd while Sebastian Vettel stays in 4th. Rosberg drops down to 5th. Raikkonen moves up to 6th. Verstappen moves down to 7th after his retirement. Valtteri Bottas moves up to 8th ahead of his teammate Felipe Massa. Fernando Alonso drops down to 10th. Hülkenberg moves up to 11th, as does Danny Kvyat. Unfortunately, our teammate Roman Grosjean drops down to 13th place because he only has 1 point. And unfortunately, the rest of the drivers, as you'll see now, actually Carlos Sainz also scored a point, but from Jenson Button onwards, so from 15th onwards, they've yet to score any points, which is unfortunate. Bo Sauber's not scoring any points as of yet. Both Manners not scoring any points neither, but hopefully Mark can score some points. Renault as well, no points for them neither, so it's not too great if you know, in their shoes. Hopefully they can get some points this season. As for constructors, Mercedes' gap between themselves and Red Bull and Ferrari, the 3 of them actually all swap place apart from Mercedes at the top. The gap closes down between 1st and 2nd, so it's now 13 points between Merc and Ferrari. Red Bull 3rd, ourselves Haas stays in 4th. Williams move ahead of McLaren, Force India move ahead as Toro Rosso. But unfortunately, Sauber, Manor, and actually Renault at the bottom, for some weird reason with no name, have yet to score any points. So luckily we've managed to close the gap to, we're now within 4 points of Red Bull after that excellent win, which is fantastic to see. And yeah, that's been all from this race and also from Bahrain. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next episode, ta-ra!